which is this thing. Right, so the granite contact comes through here. This is granite in here. So there is the major banding fault between the lavas and the metamorphics. So what you want is to get some of this metamorphic stuff in here. So what I would suggest you do is get maps that cover from that bit.
Okay.
It's a big area, but there'll be 3 of you on it. And then you can split it down as you want to when you're there. But you've also got nearly 6 square kilometres of sea. Okay? So this is a good place to get into some mapping in there. Along here, there's very, very easy access to all the metamorphic rocks. And you'll find that there's another couple of groups working along this bit of coast here. Some of the people are staying down here. I think there's another, how many other of you? There's you 5, and then there's another group.
3 groups? They're over like that.
They're going to be in here on the southern bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're going to be on the southern bit. They'll be working across here, so I'll put you on the northern bit. So that'll be adequate. You don't need to go much beyond that grid line because that's fairly uniform from that direction.
Okay.
So you want essentially that bit. And then when you get there, decide how you're going to split your mapping groups up.
Okay.
But what I would suggest you do, those that you're working in this area, you can overlap almost entirely because there's some people who want to concentrate on looking at things like the granite contact, which is exposed quite well down here, a place called Ben Doran Cottage. There's actually quite a lot of information on granite contact. You could in fact extend down to here. There'll be other people working on that, but it's not a problem. So it's up to you. You might like to get a strip of maps that does that.
Yeah.
Then when you get there, you can decide what you want to do.
Okay.
Okay? There's plenty of room for 3 of you. And the thing about this is that this is all the granite contact, and it goes all the way up there and across that headland there. Okay, so you've got granite all the way across there. This is all high-grade metamorphic rocks, and then there's lavas in here, so you've got plenty to see.
Okay.
And then what you can probably do is just work out, somebody can work along the contact zone and concentrate on the granite contact itself. Somebody can, in here, can concentrate on the lava field, and there's interbedded sediments with it. And then you need to put the bounding fault on with the metamorphic rocks, and somebody else can have a look at the metamorphic rocks in detail.
So what we would do is we would just all get like the same map.
I would get a single chunk of map.
Yeah. So we would just get like 3 copies of that.
Well, I would just, to save a lot of hassle with geography, which is where I get them from, get a single set of maps that cover all your areas,
Right.
and then copy them yourselves for what
Okay.
you need. I found this better in the past because what you end up with otherwise is a bunch of people who've all got the same little bits of map, and there's a gap. And somebody thinks, well, I could do it going 400 metres that way, and not a map. So I've had to take maps across, and it's just hopeless. Yeah. So what you want to do is go probably from that grid line there up to there, and then that grid line there down to there, and that will give you the whole of that area. Just get maps of all that lot at 1 to 10,000. That's actually quite a lot, actually. You probably own, go to there. Oh, no, that'll be all right. Just take it across like that.
Okay.
And then explain in geography, which says that's an awful lot of maps, say, yeah, but that's for all 3 of us.
Okay.
And so just get a single set of copies that there's a swathe across there.
Okay.
And that way, when you get there, you can decide who's going to do what, and you've got a set of maps, and make your own copies. That's the easiest thing to do with them.
Okay.
So you can get a set of base maps. So I suggest we put 2 of you down in Cascade Bay. A lot of it down here will be coastal stuff, coastal logging. There's a Mesozoic section in here, but there's also, because you're Cascade Bay, because you're staying over here, there's actually very good access to the upper parts of this cliff, and that's quite an interesting section to look at as well.
Okay.
So there's plenty to go on down there for a couple of you, and put the 3 of you across there. And what you'll probably do is bump into others who are working on a similar thing.
Okay.
Because the ones on the Ross and Mull, what I tend to do is stretch them from about there to there.
Yeah.
Okay, but they won't go up to here.
Okay.
So the unique bit of your maps will be the Arton Peninsula.
Is that the bit you said there was some sediments in there as well?
Yeah, so in here you've got the Arton leaf bed.
I didn't know there was a bee in there actually.
Yeah, just in here, there's that little cleft in there. You've got lavas, and interbedded with the lavas are a bunch of fluvial and lacustrine sediments. And one of the interesting things to sort out there is what's the relationship between the lavas and the sediments, and how does it work and everything. So you've got lavas with sediments interbedded, and then the bounding fault cuts straight across this bay.
Okay.
Okay, and then there's a deviation like that, and this is granite, so there's quite a lot of variation.
So there's lots to speak about in.
Oh, loads. There's
got a
tons
good house
of
then.
stuff.
Got a good house.
Yeah. Apart from anything else over there at Carsay, there's some real complications with the lava field. So what would be very interested to do, what we're interested in at the moment, but we put you on mapping areas that we're interested in because it makes it more useful for everybody. We're quite interested in this part of the coast to find out what's happening with the lavas. That's why I would like you to get someone to go from about here and come into there and then overlap the other direction.
Okay.
So have an overlapping bit in the middle, because in the middle here is where the Mesozoic sediments are best exposed, so you can both do those. And someone works to the east, someone works to the west. And this area is moderately safe because it's just coastal stuff.
Okay.
But a lot of the time I would suggest that you probably try and work within sight of one another.
Can you actually get down there? Or is it?
Yeah. The road. I mean, I took a field trip, a volcanic and magmatic studies group, and we went down there and walked all the way around to here without any difficulty.
Okay.
We've been down there many times.
And then
There's actually a coastal footpath.
The terrain isn't actually that bad though, is it?
It's boggy.
Yeah.
that's okay.
Get my gators.
It's
Yeah.
boggy. If you're on the high ground, and if you're on the coast, it's standard coastal.
Yeah.
Tides, you have to watch very
I was
carefully.
about to ask about that.
And particularly at Carsay, you have to watch the rivers. We actually got cut off because it was pouring down with rain, so we walked out in this direction. And then when we went back again, the tide had come in, and the rivers were too swollen to cross. So we had to. Well, I was up to here in the sea, walking around the sea. You have to be very careful.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you more about that when you fill your safety films in.
Okay.
I'll make a specific point of it. So you have to watch what the weather's doing and what the tide's doing. So apart from anything else, at low tide you've got very good exposure. At high tide it's not so good.
Okay.
So if you've got high tides in the middle of the day, you can just go and look at some of the upper ground. There's plenty of exposure even when the tide's in.
So see, to get the maps, do we have to like buy an OS map and give it to the?
No, just
map,
take.
or just tell
she'll
the-
have it on screen.
Oh, right,
okay.
okay.
Yeah, it's Digimap. So what she'll do is she'll say Mull, Ross of Mull, and she'll pull up this, and you'll say, "Oh, I want those bits,"
Okay.
and then she just captures the.
So like, if we just get one bit of that, one bit of that, and then just
Yeah,
sort the
yeah,
rest of the total
just get
photocopy.
one set of maps that you can all use for both areas.
Yeah. And
Okay?
then just photocopy.
If you start saying, "Well, I'll have this bit and that bit, and I'll map this
Yeah.
bit and another bit," when you get there, you realise that the bit you've decided to map actually there's several fields with two bulls in it. And you don't
can't
really
do
want to
it,
cross
yeah.
those, so that's difficult. So you want to move a bit, and you haven't got the maps.
Yeah, right,
So
okay.
it's better to get a chunk of maps.
Yeah.
And she'll know anyway because she'll have downloaded them last year.
Did you say 1 to 10,000?
1 to 10,000 is what it
Okay,
was.
so do we just keep it at that? We don't need.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
include it in
she'll know.
Okay.
But it's 1 to
Okay.
10,000. You don't want anything other than that. And you can pick up these maps. You'll get them from Waterstones. You know. And better still, if you've got an iPad, you can use them off that.
Oh.
Because you can buy these maps, they're organised in tiles. So rather than buy these big folding ones, if you use the OS, what's it called?
My granddad has these
It's
ones.
not like it.
I mean, an older version, but.
Where's it gone? Ooh, it's fine.